It's that one. Live stream. Got it.
Shall we start? Himabinduji.
1 minute, sir. 1 minute. I'm just sharing the screen. Yes, sir.
Okay. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. We started this series of explanatory lecture on Mooka Panchashati last Saturday. We are in Arya Satakam. We have completed first 8 verses. So we go to the 9th verse. Mami, start with 9th verse.
Adhrita Kanchi Nilayam Adhyamaruda Yauvana Topam Agama Batam Sakalikam Anandadvaita Kandali Mande
Adhrita Kanchi Nilayam. Kanchi Nilayam we have been seeing in earlier verses also. Devi who is having her abode in Kanchi. Adhrita means regarded, recognized, respected. That is, Kanchipuram is regarded, is recognized, is respected as the abode of Devi Kamakshi. So that kind of recognition was brought by her. So that is Adhrita. Adhrita Kanchi Nilayam, one who brought recognition to Kanchi as her abode. Adyam, Arudha Yavana Atopam. Adyam, Adi Shakti, we all know, the primal Shakti, primal power, Adi Shakti. Arudha Yavana Atopam. Atopa means pride. Yavana Atopa, the pride of youth. Arudha Yavana Atopam, showing the pride of youth. That means one who possesses the pride of youth. Arudha, one who possesses. So she has given recognition to Kanchi as her abode. She is the Adi Shakti, primal power, and she possesses the pride of youth. Agama Vatamsa Kalikam Ananda Advaita Kandalim Vande. Vande, I worship this Devi. Which Devi? Agama Vatamsa Kalikam. Agama.
Good morning.
Agama means generally there are set of agamas. There are Shaiva agamas which are 28 in number. There are Vaishnava agamas, at least 2. There are many. There are Shakta agamas and so on. Shakta tantras. Now this can be interpreted as referring to those agamas, or in a general sense, it can also be interpreted as referring to Vedas as well as agamas. There is no harm in including Vedas also inside the scope of agamas in this context. Agama Vatamsa. Vatamsa means the crest, the top portion. For Vedas, the crest is Upanishads, as all of us know. So if you take it as Vedas, the Upanishads, Agama Vatamsa. Vatamsa means the top, the crest, the head. Kalika means the bud. The bud in a flower is called Kalika. Now, Kalika is an ornament worn by women on their heads. So this is an ornament, the bud as an ornament of Upanishads, or the Jnana Kanda of Vedas, or the highest portion of Agamas, which are dealing with Jnana. So she is the ornament of Jnana, which is the decorative highest part of Agamas. Ananda Advaita Kandali. Kandali means I would request a complete silence, otherwise I get distracted. Please, everybody should please mute. Ananda Advaita Kandali. Kandali means the shoot. From the branch, there is a shoot from which the bud comes. That shoot is called the tender plant. That is the shoot. Now, Devi is interpreted, Devi is compared to a shoot of a tender plant. Which tender plant? Advaita tender plant of Advaita, which is full of Ananda, which is full of bliss. Now, Advaita, as all of us know, is a very tough concept to understand. If you go through Brahma Sutras of Vyasa, or if you go through the commentary of Adi Shankara on the Brahma Sutras, it is very tough. It requires a very qualified, very experienced teacher to explain to you. So these are the foundational texts of Advaita. Now, Advaita being so tough, that becomes easy to understand if you surrender to Devi, because Devi makes everything easy, everything simple. So she is the tender, soft, nice shoot, tender plant, which is actually Advaita. She represents Advaita. She is Advaita, and she is full of bliss. She is unlike the study of the Brahma Sutra text, which is very tough. There is no toughness here. It is full of Ananda. So Ananda Advaita Kandalim, the tender shoot of Advaita, which is full of bliss. That is what Devi is. She is the Kalika, she is the bud on the top, on the head of Agamas. She gives recognition to Kanchi as the abode, and she is the Adi Shakti, and she possesses the pride of youth. Next. Mami, next. Adutha chalgo.
तुंगाभिराम कुच भर शृंगारित आश्रयामि कांचीगतुम गंगाधर परतंत्रम शृंगाराद्वैत तंत्र सिद्धांतम.
Now again, there is a description of Devi. This Arya Satakam is full of description of the Devi, her glory. Now, Tunga Abhirama Kuchabhara Shringaritam. Shringaritam, decorated. Shringara is a decoration. Now, she is decorated by Kuchabhara, a full bosom, which is Tunga, which is elevated, which is raised. Abhirama, which is very pleasing. The fulsome bosom, which is elevated and pleasing. And she is decorated by that bosom. Shringaritam. Ashrayami, I take refuge in that Devi. I surrender to that Devi. Ashrayami. Shringaritam. Ashrayami. Kanchi Gatam. She is stationed in Kanchi. Her abode is Kanchi. Gangadhara Paratantram. Gangadhara, as all of us know, is Shiva, one who holds Ganga on his head. Paratantram. Paratantra means he has lost his independence. Shiva has lost his independence. He has become subservient to the will of Devi. That is what it means. That means Devi has made Gangadhara Paratantra. Gangadhara has lost his Swatantra. Gangadhara has become Paratantra, and it is Devi who brought him to this state. Gangadhara Paratantram. Shiva became Paratantra. Shiva became subservient, subject to the will of Devi. Shringara Advaita Tantra Siddhantam. Siddhantam is principle. Tantra, here it means Shastra. Advaita Tantra, Advaita Shastra. The principle of Advaita Shastra, as we saw just now, principles of Advaita Shastra are very tough to understand. They say the universe should be regarded as a snake which appears like a rope. This is how it starts. This is how Advaita starts. The universe should be regarded as a rope which appears as a snake. For all appearances, it is snake, but actually, if you go and check near at a close distance, it is apparent that it is only rope. So the creation is all Maya, it is Mithya, it is false, it is only truth in Vyavaharika stage, Paramarthika stage, it is not truth. This is what Advaita states. Now, this is the toughest part of Advaita. For ordinary human beings to grasp this is very difficult. So, Advaita Tantra Siddhantam, the principle of Advaita Shastra. Sringara. Sringara means the beauty, the pleasure of Advaita Shastra. Advaita Shastra, which is very tough, she makes it simple, she makes it beautiful, she makes it pleasing. That is Sringara. Sringara Advaita Tantra Siddhantam. That is what Devi is. If you surrender to Devi, automatically all the Advaita principles will appear on your mental screen. You don't have to go through the arduous efforts of studying them. So, to sum up, Devi is ornamented, Devi is decorated by the fulsome bosom which is elevated and pleasing. She is resident of Kanchi. I surrender to her, and she made Gangadhara Shiva subservient to her will, and she represents, she is Advaita Tantra Siddhanta, the very principle of Advaita Shastra, which is beautiful, which is easy to grasp, which is very pleasing. We go to the next one.
काञ्चीरत्न विभूषां कामपि कन्दर्प सूतिका पाङ्गी परमां कलामुपासे परशिववामाङ्क पीठिकासीनाम्.
Paramam Kalam Upase. Upase, I, Upasana we all know. We worship. Upase, I worship. I worship whom? Kanchi Ratna Vibhusham Kamapi Kandarpa Sutika Apangi. Kamapi, someone. I worship someone. This kind of reference as someone, Kachana, Kanchana, we have seen before. Kamapi, someone. Someone who is beyond description. Some woman who is beyond our mental and vocal capabilities. That is Kamapi. Kanchi Ratna Vibhusham. She is the Vibhusha, she is the ornament. What kind of ornament? Ratna Vibhusha. Ornament which has precious gems studded in that. Gem-studded ornament. Ratna Vibhusham. Where? In Kanchi. She is the ornament of Kanchi. Gem-studded ornament of Kanchi. Kandarpa Sutika Apangi. Apanga means Kataksha, sidelong glance. From the corner of the eye, Devi sees her. Devi doesn't look at her directly because direct look we will not be able to bear. So if she looks at us from the corner of her eye, that is called Apanga. The Kataksha, the sidelong glance. Now, what does that glance do? It does Kandarpa Sutika. Sutika means it generates. In maternity homes, you might have seen Sutika Griha, they say. That is the delivery room. Sutika Griha. Sutika means delivering, generating. Now, Kandarpa means Manmatha. She brought Manmatha back to life. Manmatha was reduced to ashes by Shiva's third eye in the forehead when he aimed his flower arrow on Shiva. We know that. So Rati went and prayed to Devi, and Devi brought Manmatha back to life, but visible only to Rati. For others, he is Ananga, he is without limbs. So Kandarpa Sutika Apangim, her sidelong glance, her Kataksha was so compassionate that she brought Manmatha back to life. Paramam Kalam. Paramam Kalam means supreme Kala. Kala means, Kala has got different meanings and different contexts in Sanskrit. Kala means, as you know, Chandra Kala, the part of Chandra. There are 15 parts of Chandra. Every day one part increases during Shukla Paksha. So that is one Kala. Kala means a part. Kala also means art, as we know. Here, let us understand it as part. Part of what? Paramam Kalam, supreme part. Supreme part of what? Supreme Chit Kala. What he means to say is supreme Chit Kala. Chitkala is one of the names of Devi. Chitkala is consciousness part. Why do we say part? Because it is part of Sat, Chit and Ananda. She is three in one. She is Sat, she is Chit, she is Ananda. She is existence, she is consciousness, she is bliss. So here we are talking about Chit because that is the most vital, most important for us, because it is through her consciousness that we are conscious. We have got some consciousness, and because of our consciousness, we are able to go through this Mooka Panchashati, we are able to worship Devi and so on. So for us, that is the most important. Sat means we exist. We exist because of her existence, because she gives us prana. Ananda, we become happy because she makes us happy. She gives a little bit of her Ananda to us. They are all important. But here in this context, we are talking about Chit Kala, which is part of Satchit Ananda. So Paramam Kalam is Supreme Chit Kala, Upase, I worship her, who is the Supreme Chit Kala. Chitkala Ananda Kalika. It comes in Lalita Sahasranam also. Chitkala Ananda Kalika. So this is same Chitkala. Paramam Kalam Upase, then Parashiva Vamanka Pithika Asinam. Parashiva, Parameshwara, the Supreme Shiva. Vamanka, Anka means lap, Vama means left. Left part of the lap. If you see pictures where Lalita Devi is seated on Shankara's lap, it is on the left part of Shiva. That is what it means. Vamanka, left lap of Shiva. She is seated. Pithika Asina. Pithika means asana, seat. Asina, she is seated. She is sitting. She is sitting on a seat which is the left part of the lap of Parameshwara. Parashiva Vamanka Pithika Asina. She is the jeweled ornament, gem-studded ornament of Kanchi. She is beyond the scope of words and even the reach of the mind, and her kataksha, her sidelong glance, gave life back to the dead Manmatha. She is the supreme Chitkala. I worship her, and she is sitting on a seat which is the left part of the lap of the supreme Shiva. Next, Kampatira Charanam.
Kampatira Charanam Karuna Korakita Drishtipatanam Keli Vanam Manome Keshanchit Bhavatu Chidvilasana.
Mama me mano kelivanam bhavatu. In the second part of the verse, it says me mano kelivanam bhavatu. Keshanchit bhavatu. Let us take bhavatu. Me mano kelivanam bhavatu. Me mano, my mind. Bhavatu, let it become. Kelivanam. Keli means sport. Let it become a sporting garden, a pleasure garden. For whom? For my mind should become a pleasure garden. For whom? For Keshanchit Chidvilasanam. Keshanchit, some, like Kamapi in the last verse. Some unknown reference is continuously referred here also. Keshanchit of some unknown source. Keshanchit of some unknown source. That is, let my mind become the pleasure garden of some unknown source. What is that unknown source? Chidvilasanam. Keshanchit Chidvilasanam. Chidvilasa. Chitti we all know is consciousness. Vilasa is sport. Sport, play of Chit. In fact, if you see the world around you, it is all Chidvilasa only. Her Chit, her consciousness, is playing in the form of trees, in the form of mountains, in the form of rivers, in the form of sunrise, in the form of sunset, moonrise, moonset, so on. Various people, various animals, various birds, everything is a Chidvilasa. Chidvilasa is the sport of consciousness. Her consciousness plays in different forms, in different jivas, in different shapes. That is, and all that consciousness, her play, let it become, let her play in my mind instead of playing somewhere else. Let my mind become the pleasure garden, the sporting garden of her, all her plays, all her sports of consciousness. Now, further description of her Chidvilasa. Kampatira Charanam. Her Chidvilasa is essentially confined to moving on the banks of Kampa River. Kampa, Tira means bank, Charana, moving about. Charana, moving about. Her Chidvilasas are moving about because she is there. That is the source of her Chidvilasa. From there she spreads her Chidvilasa in the entire universe. So we are now talking about the starting point. What is the starting point? Kampatira, the banks of river Kampa, moving about there. Karuna Korakita Drishtipatana. Drishtipata, her Chidvilasa, she doesn't have to exercise her. Now, supposing we have to do something, we have to exercise our mind, we have to exercise our limbs, our hands, our feet, we have to make so many arrangements, a lot of things we have to do. Her Chidvilasa, she has to do nothing except to do Drishtipata, except to direct her look. Drishtipata means directing the look. Pata means actually dropping. Patanam means falling, dropping. Pata, make something drop. What she makes drop? She drops drishti. She drops drishti. She directs her drishti. By directing her look, she is able to create Chidvilasa, not because of any special effort. Now, how is her drishti? Is it full of anger? Is it full of dvesha? No, it is full of karuna. Karuna korakita. Korakita means filled with, brimming with karuna. We have seen she herself was described as karuna in one of the earlier verses. Embodiment of karuna we saw, compassion. So her drishtipata, her look which was directed, is full of, brimming with karuna, compassion. So may my mind become the pleasure garden, the sporting garden of the Chidvilasas, of the sports, the various plays of consciousness, whose source are in the banks of Ganga, Kampatira Charana, moving about on the banks of Kampa, and who directs her drishti, drishtipata, who directs her look, full of karuna, korakita. Yeah, next. Amrataru. Where is Mami? Mami again. Okay, I'll read it myself. Amrataru Moola Vasatehe Adima Purushasya Nayana Piyusham Arabdha Yauvanotsavam Amnaya Rahasyam Antaravalambe. Antaha Avalambe. Avalambe, I take support in. I surrender to. Avalambanam is a support we saw before. Avalambe, I take support in. Antaha, inside my mind. Not an external support, not a walking stick for me to walk. That is an external support. Some people keep a pacemaker. That is an external support for the heart. Now, this is an internal support in the mind. So, antaha avalambe, I take internal support of whom? Amrataru Moola Vasatehe Adima Purushasya Nayana Piyusham. That is one description. First, the description is Shiva, and then Nayana Piyusha is related to Shiva. So let us first understand Shiva. Amrataru Moola Vasatehe. Amrataru, mango tree. Amra is mango, Taru is tree. Moola is foot. At the foot of mango tree, Vasatehe, he lives. Shiva lives at the foot of the mango tree. We all know Ekamreshwara, he appears as a linga at the foot of a mango tree. That is how he appeared to Kamakshi Devi. So Amrataru Moola Vasatehe, who is that? Adima Purusha, the prime, the primeval Purusha, the primeval Deva, the primeval Ishvara, the Ishvara who is Adi. There is no Ishvara before him, so he is Adima Purusha. And his residence is at the foot of the single mango tree, Eka Amrataru Moola, in Kanchipuram. So for him, of that Shiva, Devi is Nayana Piyusha. Piyusha means nectar, Amrita. Piyusha means Amrita. Nayana means eyes. Devi is the Amrita for the eyes of Shiva. When Shiva sees Devi, he is so pleased, so delighted that it is like taking Amrita, eating Amrita. It is like eating Amrita by looking at Devi for Shiva. So Amrataru Moola Vasatehe, Shiva who is residing at the foot of the mango tree, Adima Purusha, the Adi Purusha, the primeval Ishvara, for him Nayana Piyusha. Devi is the nectar, the Amrita for his eyes, Nayana eyes. And what else? Arabdha Yauvana Utsavam Amnaya Rahasyam. Further two descriptions are given. Arabdha Yauvana Utsavam. Arabdha means just begun. Yauvana is youth. Yuva is youth. Yauvana is youth, state of youth. Utsavam. Utsavam we all know. It's a festivity. Now, Devi is not said to be celebrating the festivity. Devi is the festivity. Like Devi is Karuna. Like that here, Devi is the festivity. That is, if you look at Devi, you grasp that festivity. She doesn't display a festivity. She doesn't call as a festivity into action. No, she is herself a festivity, a Utsava. That is, by looking at her, you become very happy. That is the meaning of Utsava, isn't it? Now, various temples, they celebrate car festivals, so many processions and so on. Part of the Utsava. Supported by Nadaswara Vadya, supported by Veda Parayana and so on. All that is part of Utsava. And when we go there, what do we get? We get pleasure, we get delight. Similarly, by looking at this Utsava, which is Devi's form, we feel so happy. Arabdha Yauvana Utsavam. She is the beginning of youthfulness. That means she has just to become youth. A girl of 16, because all devas are supposed to, even ordinary devas are supposed to be always at the age of 16. They are called Tridishas, that is why. So Devi is also ever 16. Shiva is also ever 16. So they are always Arabdha Yauvana only. Arabdha Yauvana Utsavam. Amnaya Rahasyam. Amnaya means Veda. Veda has got many names. One of the names is Amnaya. Rahasya, secret. Secret of the Vedas. What is the secret inside the Veda? Veda talks about many things, we all know. Talks about many karmas, many yagas, many things, many dharmas. Then finally it talks about Jnana, Jnana Kanda. Who is Brahman, who is Jiva, what is the relationship between Brahman and Jiva, and what is the relationship between Brahma, Jiva and Jagat, and so on. Now all that comes in Veda. But behind all this, there is a secret. What is that secret? That secret is Devi. That secret is the Parabrahman. That secret is the Supreme. Everything else is false. Only Parabrahman is truth. Only Devi is truth. So that is the secret. To understand the truth is the secret. Because we will be carried away by untruth, by various make-believe. We are always carried away by make-believe. That is the process of this world, process of this creation. But instead of being carried away by what is seen, if we go, that's why he said, Antaha avalambe. We have to go inside and take it to the heart. What we have to take to the heart? We have to take the Devi's Rahasya. Amnaya Rahasya. Who is the Rahasya, the secret of Veda? So Devi is the Nayana Piyusha, the Amrita for the eyes of Shiva. Shiva is Adima Purusha, the Adi Purusha, the Supreme, the first Ishvara, and he is the resident of the foot of mango tree in Kanchipuram. Eka Amra Taru, Ekamreshwara. Arabdha Yavana Utsavam. Devi is herself the festivity of the start of youth, the state of youth. Somewhere she is described as Bala, somewhere she is described as Yuva, Yuvati. So Bala is the stage lower than Yuvati, but it is the what should I say, a gentle, pleasing description of Devi. Amnaya Rahasyam, she is the secret of Vedas, and I take support in her, I surrender to her inside my heart, inside my mind. Next. Mami has come. Himabindu.
Adhikanchi paramayogimbhihi. Sorry, Mami.
Carry on, carry on.
अधिकांचि परमयोगिभिः आदिमपरपीठसीं निदृश्येन अनुबद्धौ मम मानसम् अरुणिम सर्वस्वसम्प्रदायेन.
Second line, Mama Manasam Anubaddham. Like we saw last time, Me Mano Kelivanam Bhavatu. Like that, here also he is talking about his mind. Mama Manasam Anubaddham. My mind has been bound, has been tied with a rope. Anubaddham means tied with a rope, bound. Mama, my Manasam, mind. My mind is tied by what? Now he is describing Devi. Adhikanchi, she is in Kanchipuram. Adhi means inside. Adhi actually means on top of. Here you can take as in Kanchipuram. Parama yogi bihi adima parapitha simni drishyena. Drishyena, she is drishya. She is seen. She is seen. Where she is seen? Parama yogi bihi Adima Parapitha Simni Drishyena. She is seen in the Parapitha Simni. Sima means the area of the supreme Pitha. Pitha means the seat, the supreme seat. Adima Parapitha, the very first, the primeval supreme seat. What is the primeval supreme seat? That is the Kanchi Kamakoti Pitha. She is talking about Kamakoti Pitham. That is why the poet is saying Adima Parapitham. This is the description of Kanchi Kamakoti Pitham. Pitha is the seat, Parapitham, supreme seat, Adima, the first. Because out of the several Shakti Pithas, we saw this is one of the three most important seats, Pithas. So Adima Parapitha. She is seen. She is the Drishya, she is seen in the area of the supreme seat, the first and the supreme seat. By whom she is seen? She is not seen by everybody. She is seen by Parama Yogi Bihi, supreme yogis, not ordinary yogis. Those who have mastered yoga. What is mastery of yoga? Mastery of yoga is able to concentrate their vision on Devi only, to the exclusion of everything else. That is Paramayogi. No distraction at all in their minds except Devi. They don't see, they have lost their sense of body consciousness. They're in state of samadhi, and they know only Devi's presence. That is Paramayogi. That kind of Paramayogi, Drishya, he sees, where he sees? He sees as being seated in the Kanchi Kamakoti Pitham, which is the first supreme Pitha. Where? Adhikanchi, in Kanchipuram. Adhikanchi Parama Yogi Bihi Adima Parapitha Simni Drishyena. By that Drishya, by that Devi who is seen, my mind is tied. My mind is tied, he said, isn't it? My mind is tied to what? Tied to that Drishya, to that Devi who is seen by Parama Yogis in their minds. Then further, Arunima Sarvasva Sampradayena, another description. Arunima is pink color. Aruna is pink red. Pink red hue is Arunima. Arunima Sarvasva Sampradayena. She is Arunima. The poet does not say she possesses Arunima. He doesn't say that. Arunima. She is Arunima, and that Arunima, she is giving out. Sarvasva Sampradayena. That Arunima is able to give everything, Sarvasva, whatever it has, Sampradayena, by giving. Here Sampradaya means the act of giving, not tradition, not the Sampradaya school which we have. There Sampradaya means tradition. In Sanskrit, the same word conveys different meanings in different contexts. We all know that. So we have to understand according to the context. Here Sampradaya means the act of giving. Sarvasva Sampradayena. The Devi gives, we saw it in earlier verse also. Sarvasva Sampradayena. She gives out everything. She doesn't keep anything to herself. And who is that who gives everything? Arunima gives everything. Arunima is representing, we saw earlier, compassion. Arunima represents compassion. So she is compassion personified. So she is Karuna personified. So she is able to give out everything without keeping anything to herself. So by that kind of Devi, my mind is tied to her. So my mind is tied to Devi, who is seated in Kanchi, who is seen by the supreme yogis as being seated in the supreme, the first, the primeval seat of Kanchi Kamakoti Pitham, and she is Arunima. She is pink-red hue, and she is giving out everything, whatever she has, by representing her Arunima, by consciousness. The consciousness, by red color, she represents compassion, and she gives out everything. Arunima Sarvasva Sampradayena. Yeah, next one. Ankita.
Shankara Deham Ankurito Roja Kankana Sleshaygi Adhikanchi Nitya Tarunim Adraksham Kanchidadbhutam Balam.
Adraksham Kanchit Adbhutam Balam. Kanchit is in line with earlier description. Someone. Kanchit, someone, some woman. Adraksham, I saw. Adraksham is past tense for seeing. I saw. The root, the dhatu is drishi, seeing only. Drishyena we saw last time. Same root. Adraksham means I saw. I saw someone, but how is she? She is Adbhutam Balam. She is wonderful girl, wonderful young woman. Bala, young woman. Adbhutam, wonderful. Now, further description. Adhikanchi Nitya Tarunim. Adhikanchi, we have seen before, she is located in Kanchipuram. Nitya Tarunim, eternal youth. Taruna means youth. Taruni, one who possesses youth. She is Yuvati. She is Taruni. Nitya Taruni, eternal youth, always 16. No? So she is Nitya Taruni. Ankita Shankara Deham Ankurita Uroja Kankana Ashleshaihi. Ankita Shankara Deham. Shankara Deham. Shankara is Shiva. Deha, his body. Ankita, marked. His body is marked. Shankara's body is marked by what? By Ashleshaihi. Ashlesha means embrace. By close contact. Ashlesha is embrace, close contact. By embraces, by close contact, Shankara's body is marked. Close contact of what? What has contacted him? Ankurita Uroja Kankana Ashleshaihi. That is, when Kamakshi was doing tapasya to attain Shiva, she established a Saikata Linga, a linga of sand, river sand. And Parameshwara wanted to test her devotion. So Parameshwara made Kampa river in spate. Big flood started coming, and Devi was worried that her Saikata Linga, sand linga, will be washed away. So she embraced the linga. In that anxiety, she didn't know what to do. Of course, she sent out her attendants to stop the flood. She did all that. In spite of that, the flood was coming on with great force. So what else she could do in that circumstance? She embraced very tightly. So when she embraced very tightly, it left a mark on the linga, because it is sand linga. No? That mark you can see even today in Ekamreswara linga. Though it is made of stone, you can see the mark. Now, what is the mark? Ankurita Uroja Kankana. Uroja is bosom, breast. Ankurita means swelling, sprouting, swelling breast, and Kankana. Kankana is the bracelet. So you can see the mark of her bosom, you can see the mark of her Kankana on the linga, because she embraced so tightly, those marks were left. In fact, if you see the Dhyana Shloka of Ekamraneta in Kanchipuram, this is what it says. Umalingana Sankranta Kuchakankana Mudritam Lingam Ekamranathasya Saikatam Samupasmehe. Ekamranathasya Saikatam Lingam. The sand linga of Ekamranatha Samupasmehe, I worship. Now, further description. Umalingana Sankranta Kuchakankana Mudritam. Mudritam, it has the mark of Kucha and Kankana, the breast and the bracelet. How it happened? Umalingana Sankranta. When Uma Alingana, when Uma embraced that linga, Sankranta, it left that imprint. Because of that imprint, there is a mark on Shivalinga. That is how the Dhyana Shloka says for Ekamreshwara. So here we say, the poet says, I saw some woman, very wonderful young woman, eternally young, eternal youth, in Kanchipuram, whose embraces, whose tight embraces left on the body of Shiva mark. What mark? The Ankurita Uroja Kankana, the swelling breast and bracelet. Yeah, we go to the next one. Madhura Dhanusha.
Madhura Dhanusha Mahidhara Janusha Nandami Surabhi Bana Jusha Chidvapusha Kanchipure Keli Jusha Bandhu Jiva Kantimusha.
Every shloka is different from the previous one in terms of the structure of the shloka, the words he uses, the idea which he brings, and so on. That is the speciality of Mooka Panchashati. We saw it in the introductory remarks. Here you can enjoy it. Nandami, he says, I am delighted. I am very happy. Nandami, I am extremely happy. I am very much delighted. Delighted with what? Now he is giving a list of various items which delight him. Madhura Dhanusha, the first one to delight him is the sweet bow. Because Devi has got a bow, dhanus, of sugarcane. So sugarcane is sweet. So it is a Madhura Dhanus, sweet sugarcane bow, Madhura Dhanusha. Mahidhara Janusha. Mahidhara is mountain. Janusha means daughter, born of, child of mountain. She is the daughter of Himavan. Mahidhara. Mahi means earth. Mahidhara, one which supports the earth, because mountains are said to support the earth according to our Shastras. It's not the earth which is supporting the mountain. The mountain is supporting the earth. We should understand that. That is the speciality of our Shastras, our Sanskrit language. Bhudhara, Mahidhara, these are the various words which are used to describe mountain. Mahidhara Janusha, she is the daughter of the mountain. I am delighted by her. Surabhi Bana Jusha, she is caressing. Jusha means she is enjoying. She is caressing what? Surabhi Bana. Surabhi means fragrant. Bana means arrow. Her arrows are not made of steel. Her arrows are made of flowers. They are all very fragrant, very sweet smelling. So very sweet smelling, very fragrant arrows she is caressing. She is holding in her hand with love. So that kind of Bana, I am delighted. Chidvapusha, I am delighted with her body, with her form. Why? Because it is consciousness. It's not ordinary form, ordinary body like our human form, made of flesh and bones. It is made of consciousness. There is no flesh and bones in her form. It is consciousness which is appearing like a human form. That is the speciality. So it is that he is emphasizing here. Chidvapusha. Don't mistake her form as a human form, though it appears as a human form. So it is Chidvapusha, only consciousness. Actually, it is Nirvikara, it is Nirakara. There is no form, but she takes a form. The consciousness takes a form just for helping jivas to concentrate. That is Chidvapusha. Kanchipure. Where is all this happening? In Kanchipuram. Keli Jusha. Jusha, again we saw, enjoying, caressing. Keli means sporting. She is not in a mood of anger, dvesha, or any negative mood. She is in a sporting mood. So she is enjoying her sport. She is having a parrot sometimes in her hand. She is enjoying. Her very smile is seductive. So she is enjoying the jivas and she wants to convey her compassion, her pleasure to the jivas. That is why it is a sport for her. The creation of the universe is itself a sport. So Keli Jusha. Bandhujiva Kanti Musha. Musha means stealing, robbing. Robbing the Kanti, robbing the radiance of Bandhujiva. Bandhujiva is the name of a flower, hibiscus, red flower, Chambarati as it is called in Tamil. That red flower, hibiscus flower, she is robbing the radiance of that. That means what? Her radiance surpasses the radiance of hibiscus by several counts. That is what it means. Bandhujiva Kanti Musha. So he is listing so many attributes of Devi. He says, I am delighted. Whenever I think of any one of these attributes, I become extremely happy. When I think of her Madhura Dhanus, sweet sugarcane bow, she is the daughter of Himavan. Himavan was so blessed that he was able to, because of his tapas, she became his daughter. So all this comes to my mind. Surabhi Bhana Jusha, I am extremely happy that she is playing with her fragrant arrows, and her form is not ordinary human form. Her form is consciousness, and she is, I am able to see her in Kanchipuram. I am so lucky, and she is enjoying, her form itself is enjoyment, sport. Keli Jusha, Bandhujiva Kanti Musha, she is robbing the radiance, she is defeating, surpassing the radiance of the Bandhujiva flower, the hibiscus flower. Next, Madhura Smiten.
Smitena ramate mamsala kuchabara mandagamanena madhye kanchi manome manasija samrajya garva bijena.
Ramate me manaha ramate. My mind is delighted. Like he said last time, Nandami, same thought process is continuing. Me manaha ramate. My mind is delighted. My mind is enchanted with what? Madhura Smitena, by her gentle, sweet smile. Madhura, sweet, Smita, gentle smile. Sweet and gentle smile, my mind is delighted. Mamsala Kuchabhara Manda Gamanena. Gamana is her gait, her style of walking. Manda Gamana, slow walk, gentle walk. Shaneshwara is known as Manda. Shanigraha, one of the names is Manda because he travels very slowly. So Manda Gamana means slow gait. Why she is walking so slowly? The poet is giving a reason, a poetical reason. Mamsala Kuchabhara Mandagamanena. She is walking slowly because of the weight, bhara, weight of Kucha, her bosom. Mamsala means fleshy, large. Because of her bulky breast, she is not able to tolerate that weight and walk fast. So she is walking very slowly. Madhye Kanchi, in the center of Kanchipuram. Me manaha ramate, my mind is delighted. Manasija samrajya garve bijene. Bija is, all of us know, is a seed. Garva bija is the seed of arrogance, seed of pride. Whose pride? Manasija samrajya. Samrajya is empire. Manasija is Manmatha. Manasija means one who is born of the mind. He is the Manmatha is the mind-born son of Vishnu. That is why he is called Manasija. He was born of the mind of Vishnu. Manasija means Manmatha, who was born of the mind of Vishnu. His empire, Manasija Samrajya. His empire he is conducting with Garva because he is able to bring anybody under his sway. There is no one whom he cannot bring under his sway. Naturally, he is having that Garva. His Samrajya extends everywhere. There is no limit for his Samrajya. Normally, for an emperor, there is a limit. Within that limit only he can conduct his rule. But here, Manasija's Samrajya extends over the entire universe. There is no place, no human being, no living being which is free from his sway. That is why he is having Garva, naturally. Now, what is behind that Garva? There is a seed of that Garva, the source of that Garva. That is Devi. It is Devi who is the seed of that arrogance, of that pride, of having such a vast empire of Manmatha. Because once he was reduced, that's a story actually, very long story given in Kamakshi Vilasam. As all of us know, Manmatha was reduced to ashes by Shiva. Then Manmatha was brought back to life by the Apanga, by the Kataksha of Kamakshi Devi. And then she gave him special powers because he went and prayed to her. He went and did tapas towards Kamakshi. So she gave him very special powers. So he wanted to exercise that power on Shiva only. And she gave him permission. She gave him permission to exercise his power over Shiva himself. The same Shiva who reduced Manmatha to ashes earlier. Now he exercised. Now Shiva could not do anything. Because earlier he was on his own. Now he is backed by Devi. He knew that. So he could not do anything. He became subject to Manmatha's influence. He came running towards Kamakshi. Then Kamakshi said, you go to Kailasa. There's a story behind it. So, Devi is the bija, the source, the seed of the pride, the arrogance of the empire, the vast empire of Manmatha. So, my mind is delighted by the gentle, sweet smile of Devi, of the slow, gentle gait of Devi, which is prompted by the weight of her fleshy bosom, and she is seated in the center of Kanchi, and she is the very source of the pride, of the arrogance of Manasija Samrajya, the empire of Manmatha. Next.
Ranimayim, Ranimayim, Taranimayim, Pavanamayim, Gagana, Dagana, Hotrumayim, Ambumayim, Indumayim, Ambam, Anukampamadimaamikshe.
Adimam Ikshe, last part. Ikshe means I see. Whom I see? Adimam. Adima, we have seen Adima Purusha before. Adima means Adi and Adima both mean the same. Adima means the first Devi, the very first, the primal. I see the primal Devi. Now, further description of. She is of 8 forms. Shiva is known as Ashtamurthy. One of the famous names of Shiva is Ashtamurthy. He is represented in 8 forms. Now, if Shiva is represented in 8 forms, Devi is also, because Devi is no different from Shiva. Devi is the power behind Shiva. So, if he is represented in 8 forms, who gave him that power to be represented in 8 forms? It is Devi. So, Devi is also represented in 8 forms. Now, what are those 8 forms? Dharani Mayim. Dharani is earth. She is of the form of earth. Tarani Mayim. Tarani is Surya. She is of the form of Surya. Pavana Mayim. Pavana is wind. She is of the form of wind. Gagana, Dahana, Hotrumayim. There are three here. Gagana is space. Gagana is space. Dahana is Agni, fire. Hotru, Hota. Hotru, Hota means Yajamana, one who performs yajna. In a yaga, the Yajamana, the one who performs yajna, he is called Hota, Hotru. That is, you cannot do any activity of punya without Devi's grace. That is what it means. So, she is the power behind Hota. She is the power behind that Yajamana. She is the power behind earth. She is the power behind sun. She is the power behind wind. She is the power behind space. She is the power behind fire. And she is also the power behind the Yajamana, who is performing the yajna. Ambumayim, Indumayim. The last two. We have seen 6. Dharani, Tarani, Pavana, Gagana, Dahana, Hota. We have seen 6. The last two is Ambu and Indu. Ambu is water. Indu is Chandra. So she is of these 8 forms. Amba, she is the mother. Amba means mother. Ambam, Anukampam, Adimam, Ikshe. Anukampam. It is not Anukampam. Anukampa means compassion. Anukampam means she is on the bank of Kampa river. Kampa, that is the beauty of Sanskrit. So Kampa, Anukampam means she is on the bank of, one who is on the bank of Kampa is Anukampa. And in second Vibhakti, it becomes Anukampam. Anukampam means one who is on the banks of Kampa river. So I see the primeval mother who is on the bank of Kampa, and she is of 8 forms: the earth, the sun, the wind, the space, the fire, the Yajamana, the water, and the planet of Chandra. Ambam, Anukampam, Adimam, Ikshe. Next, Leenasthiti.
Leenasthiti muni hridaye dhyanastimitam tapasya dupakampam peenastana bharamide meenadvaja tantra paramatatparyam.
Peenastana Ide. Ide is the verb here. Ide means I praise. I do the stotra of who? Leenasthiti Muni Hridaye. Muni Hridaye, in the hearts of Munis, in the hearts of sages. Leenasthiti. Leena means merged. She is merged in the hearts of sages. That means you cannot distinguish the heart from Devi, because we saw the Devi occupies the entire heart. She becomes the heart of Munis. That is why he says Leenasthiti, very meaningful expression. Leenasthiti Muni Hridaye. She merges herself in the hearts of Munis, because they constantly think of her. They constantly think of her. They are in a state of samadhi, so she is merged there. She is now different from the heart. Leenasthiti Muni Hridaye Dhyana Stimitam. Muni Hridaye Dhyana Stimitam. Inside the heart, she is Leenasthiti. She is merged. She is also Dhyana Stimitam Tapasyat. Tapasyat. She is doing penance. She is doing tapas. Kamakshi did tapas for a long time for attaining Shiva on the banks of Kampa river. We just saw that story. So tapasyat upakampam on the banks of Kampa, upakampam on the banks of Kampa, tapasyat doing penance. How she is doing penance? How she is doing tapas? Dhyana stimitam. Stimita means motionless. Still, she is motionless. Why she is motionless? Because she is in the state of dhyana, in the state of meditation. Because she is in the state of meditation, she is motionless. She doesn't move her body, and she is doing tapasya on the bank of Kampa river. Peenastana bharam. This we have seen before. Peenasthanam, Sthanabharam, heavy, large, fulsome bosom. Meenadhvaja Tantra Parama Tatparyam. Meenadhvaja is again Manmatha. Dhwaja means flag. Manmatha's flag is Meena, fish. Every deva has got a flag, a distinct flag. Rishabha is the flag of Shiva. Garuda is the flag of Vishnu, and so on. Hamsa is the flag of Brahma. So similarly, the flag is same as Vahana. So similarly, here the flag is Meena, fish for Manmatha. Meena Dhwaja, Tantra, his skill, his science, his skill, his science. Parama Tatparyam. What is the Tatparya? What is the supreme principle behind his skill? The supreme principle, Parama, supreme, Tatparya, principle, supreme meaning, supreme principle of Tantra, of the skill, of the science which he employs, which Manmatha employs. Who is the Tatparya? Devi is the Tatparya. We saw this idea before. He is emphasizing it once again. So without Devi's grace, Manmatha cannot do anything. Without Devi's grace, nobody can do anything. Now he is talking about Manmatha in this context because it was Manmatha who earned the special grace of Kamakshi in Kanchipuram by doing tapas, and she was able, the Manmatha was able to aim his flower arrows even on Shiva successfully. That is why he is making a reference to Manmatha once again. Manmatha's Dhwaja, Tantra, his Shastra, his skill, Parama Tatparya, the supreme principle behind that skill is Devi herself. So Devi, I pray, I do stotra of Devi, who is merged in the hearts of Munis, and she is doing tapasya, penance on the banks of Kampa river with a motionless body given to meditation, and she is having full, large, heavy bosom, and she is the supreme principle, supreme meaning of the skill, of the science, of love of Manmatha. So I think we'll stop with this. It's time. Now we invite questions. If there are any questions, please.
Anyone has any questions? Kannan sir will answer them.
Namaskaram, Mama. Lata here. I had a question. I was revising the shlokams from the last class. So I wanted to know, in some of the shlokams, it says Kanchi with a Dhirga E, and in some shlokams, it is Kanchi. So what is the difference between the two? I see this even in shlokams where they say Lakshmi and Lakshmi, or Saraswati and Saraswati. So I wanted to understand.
That is the point of grammar. Actually, okay. The long one is the name. The long one is the name. The name undergoes a change because of the vibhakti. There are 7 vibhaktis in Sanskrit, as we know. So in some vibhakti, for example, in the Sambodhana vibhakti, when you call Lakshmi, it becomes Lakshmi, not the long, the short. That is one example. Like that, there are other examples where the long becomes short because of the vibhakti. It's a Sanskrit grammar, so we need not worry about it.
Okay, meaning wise, it's the same.
Yes, meaning is the same.
Mama, namaskaram. I would like to share some few words about Mami. I am Mala Rajaraman, student of Srimati Padma Mami, and Srimati Padma Mami is from Ape Dikshadar family. And Periva has ordered Mami to teach Mooka Panchashati without fail. That means every day. And we have a group like Sri Vidya Kamakshi Samiti, blessed by our Periva. And Mami is teaching Shivanandalagiri, Soundarlagiri, Sampurnataram, and so on. And she sits by 11 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock. She takes class during the day, throughout the day. She does her services very dedicatedly, and she is down to earth.
We are very happy. We are very privileged. We are very lucky that we have got this Padma Mami's presence in our lecture series. I think Himabindu and Dhanamji arranged for her presence here. She is able to find time in spite of her busy schedule. That is the good luck of all of us.
And she resides just opposite to Kamakshi temple at Kanchipuram.
Yeah, yeah. I have seen her
Thank
many
you, sir.
times in the Matham, Sri Matham.
Mama, namaskaram, Mama.
Thank
Any
you,
other
Mama.
questions?
Dhanyavadaga.
Guruji, I just had one question. Sloka number 10. What is the meaning of Tunga?
Tunga means elevated.
Okay.
Namaskaram, Mama. Annapurni here. Just third slokatla chit sudhava, chit sukhava. அது கொஞ்சம் பாட்ட பேதம் இருக்கா என்னன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல.
Well, I know it as Chit Sukha only, not Chit Sudha. Chit Sukha Adhara.
Okay, thank you so much.
It can be Chit Sudha without any harm to the meaning, but the word used by the poet is Chit Sukha only.
Okay, thank you, Mama.
நமஸ்காரம் மாமா, நான் ஜெயலட்சுமி. நான் இந்த சிவானந்த நகர் இந்த பத்மா மாமி எப்ப திரும்ப ஆரம்பிப்பாளா?
Padma Mami to answer.
Oh.
That we will post in the group, madam.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, shall I end the meeting, sir? I think we have no more questions.
Okay, very nice. So
Thank you,
we
sir.
meet
Thank
again.
you, Mami.
We meet
Thank
again
you,
next
sir.
Saturday.
Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
Mama.
Thank you so
Best
much.
wishes to everyone.
Thank you.
Namaste, Mama.
Namaskaram, Mama Mimi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskaram,
Guruji.
Dhanyavadaga, Mama. Dhanyavadaga.
Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyawad.